citizens of the free world. I'm coming to you to talk to you. I'm Hoverman Cop. There has been a video surfaced and went viral in Baytown, Texas. A Baytown police officer shoots and kills a woman at night. And I'm going to break that video down. And when I conclude giving you details of this police officer's actions, it will leave you with no doubt knowing that that police officer and his actions indeed was intended to kill that woman. How can I come to that conclusion? Because you're talking about one who has served for years as a police officer for the citizens of Texas. And there's no police officer in the world that has arrested some of the most dangerous criminals in history across this world. I have the most felony arrests and charges ever as a single man patrol unit. And I have encountered all kinds of dangerous situations. So I know what I'm talking about. Anything that you can think of, I've pretty much done it. So I can tell you the actions of that police officer was indeed a violation of unauthorized use of force against Pamela Turner, whom he chose to kill. Now I know many of you saying what Pamela Turner did was fight with that officer and grabbed his taser. And these are even police officers, even some police officers are having the conversations and are saying that as well. Yes, she in fact did. But what gives a Baytown police officer the authority to approach Pamela Turner in that apartment complex late at night on his own, knowing that he knew Pamela had mental instabilities? From my understanding, she's one that has not been taking her medicine. She's schizophrenic, from what I've been told from certain people in that community. And oftentimes, she always would walk at night, her dog, or just walk. And on that night, that Baytown officer knew it also and approached her. And you are going to see on this video, I'm going to show it up to the point before he begins to shoot her. I will not show that part. But when you watch this video, I want you to pay attention to every part of it, and then I will come back and we're going to have a deep, detailed description and carve this video to the very last second with the conclusion that he in fact wanted to kill Pamela Turner. Watch this video and I'll be back.
What the fuck?
I'm walking. I'm actually walking to my house. You actually harassing me.
It popped the ass.
You actually harassing me. Like, why? Why? I didn't let you treat you. I'm pregnant.
Okay, now that you've watched it, the Baytown officer has Pamela. The Baytown officer was attempting to put handcuffs on Pamela. The question I have, and I pretty much know that when I ask this question, the body camera on that police officer probably would indicate a no to this answer. And if not, it will indicate that my question and my belief was not so based on the video camera footage from that police officer. Did that Baytown police officer, when he grabbed a hold of that citizen, stating that the reason for him grabbing her was because she had outstanding warrants? Now, these outstanding warrants, from my understanding, was for assault and criminal mischief. It did not say that these outstanding warrants were felony. Felony warrants are of a higher charge. And even if it was felony warrants, why didn't, and if he even did, which I don't think he did, knowing that Pamela was unstable mentally and him being trained as a police officer, being on that department for years, knowing he had enough sense and enough training, why didn't he use verbal communications with Pamela to get her to calm down? Did he use verbal communications with Pamela Turner as to why he grabbed her late at night, in the middle of the night, out of nowhere, without talking to her, why he had her grabbed and about to put handcuffs on her? Why did this Baytown officer, knowing of her mental state, put himself in danger by approaching Pamela on his own? Did this Baytown officer approach Pamela on duty or was he off duty? That's important too. If he was off duty, and based on what I've seen just from the video alone, did he call for backup units to assist him before he even approached Pamela Turner, knowing that she was mentally unstable or had some issues? It's been said also, based on my talking with some people in the community, that problems had occurred for over a month with Pamela Turner not taking her medication. But Pamela was never a threat to no one. She would talk a little bit off or what have you. These are some signs of people who are mentally unstable when they're off their medications and they're not taking it. Some are affected in more ways than others. And this police officer, it has also been stated, he lived or is living on that property. I can't verify it, but that's what I've been told. So did he approach Pamela off duty to Pamela without contacting and taking the necessary precautions to notify someone who's on duty, the dispatcher, his location, what he was doing, since he knew that Pamela had outstanding warrants? When you're off duty, do you make such actions as opposed to if you were on duty? So was he on duty or was he off duty approaching and attempting to arrest Pamela Turner? How did he know if the outstanding warrants for Pamela Turner, did he verify those warrants? Because these warrants were nothing of a major importance. We're talking about a misdemeanor assault. And we're probably talking about not even the criminal mischief. What kind of criminal mischief was it? Was it felony? Doesn't seem to be. Was the assault a felony? I don't think it was. And so knowing that she had felony warrants, he approached her on his own because was he able to make this arrest on his own? By grabbing Pamela? And based on what happened next indicates that this Baytown police officer was incapable of handling Pamela Turner in a way to safely put her in handcuffs. So why did he even decide to grab her and detain her? Was those warrants verified? Was he arresting Pamela Turner or was he attempting to detain Pamela Turner? And in any case, did he in fact, knowing and being trained as a police officer, dealing with people who are unstable and have mental problems in situations where they have to take medicine, did he try to verbally talk to her in a way to calm her down, knowing that she was off her medication? And based on all of these questions, it seems to be that this Baytown officer didn't do anything right from the beginning of his approach to Pamela Turner. So since he knew that she had some outstanding warrants, when did he know it? Obviously, he knew beforehand. So did he plan to have a physical altercation with Pamela so that he could use deadly force to kill her? And based on his approach and his actions and aggression towards her from the beginning, indicates that this was a planned killing that he decided to carry out on that night to Pamela Turner. So he grabs her, and he knows, with her being off medication, that she was going to be irritated and disturbed. So she breaks away from his hold. So he couldn't control her and put her in handcuffs, so she breaks away. Now he's mad. The question is now, she breaks away, what does he do next? It's nighttime. Does dispatch knows where he's at, knows what he's doing? Did this Baytown officer communicate over the radio that Pamela is resisting him? Did he do that? And based on what we saw, no, he did not. So all of these crucial actions, this officer failed to do the appropriate thing for his safety and for the safety of that lady who was mentally unstable. He failed and caused this problem to now escalate to a whole nother level, which in fact, if he already planned, knowing she had warrants, fell right into what he desired to happen. So since he did not even call for his safety, since he did not notify dispatch, since he did not notify police officers to come by and check by, what happens next is now he decides to tase her. Okay, he should have everything pretty much under control where he can attempt to put her in handcuffs. He's been on the department for over 10 years, I believe 12 years or so, but he's been on long enough. He's got the badge, he's got the knowledge, he's been in the training, he's been at the academy. He tases her, effect the arrest, but he couldn't do that either. This woman is on the ground. He, it appears, has his taser aimed right at her in a direction that was unsafe for himself, and from what it seems as if the taser was taken from him in the process of her being on the ground. So now the officer can't gain control of Pamela. Pamela breaks loose from her, and that was the first mistake Pamela did. She wasn't in her right mind. And he knowing it, now she breaks loose. She's not in her right mind. She's frustrated. This officer is not speaking to her, not even attempting to calm her down, to use his verbal knowledge and ability as a police officer dealing with mental unstable people. He didn't speak, he didn't say a word based on that video. Now the problem is even more escalated. He tases her. He couldn't do that right, so he puts his taser in a position where it could be grabbed. She grabs the taser. He can't hold on to his own taser. She's on the ground. He's standing up. He has a better tactical position standing up. Okay, now his taser's gone. Does he contact the dispatch? Does he notify anybody from his department? Is he on duty or is he off duty? Why is he doing this? So, after the taser is taken from him, Pamela, in the process of all of this, these words came out of her mouth that could be heard from that surrounding area. She says, "I'm pregnant." That's enough for any police officer to have the ability to assess the situation as everything is unfolding, if he has the ability to, because he should have the ability to assess every situation. But this Baytown officer, instead of using that information to assess the situation more, to think of a different tactical method and use, ignored what she stated, even if she was or was not. It is stated later that it was revealed that she wasn't pregnant, but that wasn't known at the fact, and that doesn't matter if she was or was not. At that present time, she stated that she was pregnant, and the officer could not even assess the situation and choose another method to make sure that he could gain control of that woman without using deadly force. Shows that this police officer intent was to kill her, because what he did next, he backs up while Pamela is still on the ground, helpless. He's standing up and he backs up. And before I continue, what any officer would tell you, I'm going to tell you. Because I've been trained, I've dealt with many of mentally unstable individuals in our communities. First of all, I would not have approached her in that manner. I would have used my tactical verbal language to communicate to Pamela. And what you are taught is to speak to them in a way, not aggressively, neither in a loud, in a verbal sense. You remain calm. You talk to them in a way that they can understand to effectively get them to respond in the way that you can make the arrest. And if that doesn't work, You call for another unit to assist you while you're still trying to get an individual to listen and to understand what it is you want them to do. Now, knowing Pamela was not going to listen because this officer failed to even do common practical one-on-one police interaction with a possible arrestee, is to talk to them. And she's mentally challenged. Pamela, she lies down. She has no ability to do anything else because the officer steps back. He assessed the situation by drawing his gun. The woman is on the ground. No threat. He's got distance. He can call for backup. He can wait the backup to arrive. He can use his baton. He can use his physical abilities to subdue this woman. He doesn't do it. He draws his weapon. Pamela's on the ground. He shoots her not just one time. After the first shot, Pamela, she lies down flat on the ground, not moving, no threat. That Baytown officer shoots her the second time. Pamela, she's still not moving, probably still not even breathing. Blood is coming out of her body. She's no threat. That Baytown officer shoots her 3 times. Pamela, she's no threat. She's not moving. Blood is coming out of her body. She is no threat. That Baytown officer shoots her 4 times. Pamela, still on that ground. She's no threat. She's not getting up. She's not moving. This Baytown officer shoots her 5 times. Pamela still laid there, flatless. She's flat on the ground. She's not moving. She's no threat. Pamela is dead. So much so, no one knows at that time. She said she's pregnant. And he refused to even comply and listen. And if she was or was not, he kills the life in that womb, along with Pamela, who was no threat other than her mental state and her mental challenges. That officer used unauthorized use of force. He was incapable of effecting his job appropriately, correctly, and decided and planned in his mind and carried it out instead of using other means, and killed Pamela Turner. What say you now? There is no way, out of all my encounters, even everybody has different abilities. I understand that. There's been times even with criminals with guns on them, I was able to take the guns away and not kill someone, let alone kill someone who was mentally unstable and who posed no serious threat enough to escalate my use of force to kill him. Even when I had dealt with a mental unstable individual whom I did not know even at the time had a toy gun and ratcheted, looked just as if it was a weapon. I didn't know at the time, and the officers that was present with me didn't know, and I had a clear shot to kill him and shoot him. But I did not. Neither did any other of the officers who was assisting me at that scene. We assessed the situation. We took cover to make sure that we were not going to shoot and possibly kill an individual who was mentally unstable. This Baytown officer refused all methods and chose to kill Pamela. Now, that Baytown officer, for his actions, and if they ever release his body camera footage, it will reveal some troubling situations for him and for the public. His action caused Pamela to be killed. That officer needs to be put in prison for choosing to kill that woman.